If you want to improve your judgments and decisions, then avoid these 5 critical thinking killers. 1. Over-reliance on authority. 2. Black and white thinking. 3. Hasty moral judgments. 4. Labels. And 5. Resistance to change. Over-reliance on authority. The main point to understand here is that you want to avoid passing all of the decision making to someone in authority. In relationships, it could be our parents. We want to respect our parents and any other authority out there, but we don't want to over rely on their beliefs and their interpretation of the world. What they believe has worked well for them, but may not work well for you. The same idea goes with the government because the government is tasked with taking care of everyone, which means they have to generalize. That generalization may not be in your best interest, and so you want to apply critical thinking in order to verify that what is being recommended is right for you. The same goes in schools and in work. For school, don't take everything your teacher says for fact. People make mistakes, so don't adapt their worldview without putting it to the test, and don't take everything they say for fact unless it's backed with evidence. Work is the same where people are imperfect, and so you want to ask questions and pursue better ways of getting things done, even if the authorities say it's impossible. The point being is that you don't want people above you to make all of your decisions because it may not be what is best for you. Instead, you want to respectfully challenge that authority by determining what works best for you and what aligns with critical thinking. Black and white thinking. The main idea here is that life is not binary or black and white. This binary thinking is an oversimplification of our mind in order to better understand the world. If you have seen my videos on the conscience and the subconscious, you will know that the subconscious likes to simplify information in order to reserve energy. However, life is complex and rarely can we place things in one of 2 boxes. Instead, we need to understand that life is more of a gradient between black and white, and that there are many boxes we can place things. It's not always good or bad, which are opposites. It can be great, good, neutral, bad, or horrible. This also means that we need to understand the differences between opposites and negatives. Negatives means that it's either or, that both can't be true at the same time. Opposites is different in that they can be true at the same time. This can be good and bad at the same time. A promotion is great because there is more money, but now more is required of me, which is bad. Both are true, and we would have confused ourselves if we placed the promotion in either the good category or the bad category. Life is complex, and in order to embrace that complexity to make better decisions and judgments, we must move away from black and white thinking. Hasty moral judgments. The primary idea here is to stagger moral judgments until after careful deliberation. Passing a moral judgment quickly blocks critical thinking because you automatically assume someone's morality or beliefs by a very small amount of data. He won't make a good worker because he has tattoos, or she won't make a good mother because she has very little patience. These are hasty moral judgments that prevent us from coming to an accurate conclusion about someone, which can be an error in our own judgment. The strategy here is to postpone your moral judgment until you have a sufficient amount of data about the person. Writing off a potential friend for life because they did something you don't fully understand could rob you of a lifelong relationship. Or writing off a potential date because of a specific criteria that isn't actually important to you, but it's just important to your culture, might be damaging over the long term. Again, stagger your moral judgments until you have enough data in order to make better judgments and decisions. Labels. Similar to the last 2 points, we want to avoid an over-reliance on labels. Again, the subconscious needs to simplify information in order to conserve energy, and so it will apply labels to specific groups in order to save time. However, if you over rely on labels, you can come to the wrong conclusion very quickly. Just because doctors generally don't have a lot of training on sleep doesn't mean your doctor is ignorant. Just because someone is wealthy doesn't mean that they are selfish or self-centered, even though all the wealthy people you have met are selfish and self-centered. Just because that school has a reputation of fighting doesn't mean everyone who goes there is a fighter. We run into the same problem as point 3 in that we don't have enough information to make those conclusions in these specific situations. Labels are oversimplifications, which can be useful as long as we manage how much we assume based on that label. Resistance to change. The main point here is that if we resist change, we will not grow and our judgments and decisions will not improve. I talk about this a lot in my new course where the subconscious works to conserve energy by keeping you inside of your comfort zone. But we have to do what we have never done in order to get what we don't have. If we stay the way we are and avoid growth, we will not get better. What we need to do is when change is introduced, we need to set aside our emotional resistance in order to evaluate it critically. Your subconscious is going to fight to keep things the way they are, but we need to pause those reservations in order to assess if this change is going to be worth taking on. Over-reliance on authority, black and white thinking, hasty moral judgments, labels, and resistance to change are all points that reduce our ability to think critically. If we want to make better judgments and decisions in order to unlock our true potential, we need to avoid these critical thinking killers so that we can live the life we want to live.